Heyo.
What's up, Gomertrons?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Um, we're probably going to say that on the pod as well. Um, but
What
this
if
one's
what
going to be
if our
fun.
Gomertrons were called filthy animals instead?
Oh, well, during the holidays, that's what they should be called, the filthy animals.
Good idea.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. What do they say in Home Alone 2?
That's Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Home Alone 2.
Oh,
Home Alone 1 is um something else, you filthy animals. He says, keep the change, you filthy animals.
there you
And then
go.
Home Alone
Okay,
2 is Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
okay. Why didn't that come up? Bring it back. Bring the episode back.
It did. Well, we said it in the episode.
I know, but they upped the ante.
I see.
Um,
They make it a true Christmas movie by saying Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and it's time for the glorious season. All right.
Merry Christmas. Okay. All right, I
I
can't
have
wait for
not heard
this.
your cold open yet, dude.
Oh,
It
it's
got
just
buried in
all
our
about
texts.
it's just all about some Die Hard on a something.
Ah,
And
okay.
so I list movies that were Die Hard on a something.
Oh, good. Okay, because I was gonna mention that. Um, okay. Oh yeah, and then yeah, you texted me that one line about how it's
Well, that's just my
um
thought of it. I don't say that in the opener, but the opener is what kind of movie would just become that all of its successors would just know they can't escape its shadow. So instead they evoke its name in their
got
promotional
it.
material to get people to come to their thing.
Okay, got it.
It's
So
like the original. It's like the ground. It's like the Patient Zero
yep, it's Patient Zero for
for action
late
movies.
'80s, '90s action.
Yep.
It's a game changer for sure. I
Yeah.
think gosh, that would be a great movie podcast, dude. Like Game Changer or like
Mm-hmm.
Patient Zero or like Movie Zero.
Movie Zero. That's
Like
pretty good. We'll
hmm,
start another one.
cuz when Harry met Sally, yeah, right. When Harry met Sally. This can be one of our movie zeros though.
Yeah, that's true.
Harry met Sally's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Um great.
Okay. I can't wait. I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Okay. One, two, three, click. One, two, three.
One, two, three.
That was very delayed, dude. It was weird.
Do you feel okay about it?
Yeah, I feel okay. Am I like you were moving weird? It went like one, two. Oh, what the heck?
What, is it
What the
weird?
heck? You look like Santa from Santa Claus too.
The credits.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Gomertrons, I'm so glad you're with us.
A little
These are
special
bonus.
treat.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I've got my tablet.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Perfect Movie, a podcast hosted by two regular guys who went from couch to marathon, and now they're making their way back to the couch again. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, joined as always by my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Come all the way out to Flagstaff, Arizona. We'll get together, have a few laughs. I love that line.
Have a few laughs.
Have a few
Yeah,
laughs. What a stud. What a
yep.
friggin' stud he is.
Totally amazing. Um, we're gonna talk tons of Bruce Willis. We're on the Die Hard episode. This is
Yeah.
one of our Patient Zero, Movie Zero, Game Changer. We were trying to think of different
Sacred
ways of
cows. It's
saying the
all those
beginning of.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
a
the
sacred cow. It's a
original.
golden corral.
Right.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. Um yeah, and then just like I mean, you heard in that cold open, everything for 15 years after this movie it's a reference point for action movies.
Right. Totally. Totally.
So
Um,
that's part. Maybe that's part of the reason why this whole kind of resurgence of is Die Hard a Christmas movie
mm,
is it's like we were having that argument along like we're that
yep.
argument's done. Like we had that argument 30 years ago. We're fine.
Totally. Well, okay. Is Prometheus a Christmas movie?
Well, so okay. So I had my dad watched Die Hard. My dad and mom watched Die Hard for the first time last week. Had never seen it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And he said one of the reasons I want to watch this movie is because on all the this time of year for the past 2 or 3 years, everybody on sports radio starts arguing
Oh,
about is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And so I
got
want
it.
to know, and so I'm going to watch it and figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. Um, he watched it, and it took us several back and forths, backs and forth, back and
Uh-huh.
forths, where he was of a mind at the beginning that no, it's not a Christmas movie.
Uh-huh.
Then I had to say, Dad, you got to expand that. You got to expand your mind, which I think is
Okay.
the I think is the main argument for it being a Christmas movie. You have to have a definition of a Christmas movie that goes beyond Santa Claus or
Okay.
a Christmas Carol.
Right. Yep. I
You can
mean,
go
because
back
that.
to our taxonomy,
Yep.
which is there are different kinds of Christmas movies. And so if there are different kinds of Christmas movies, then yes, Die Hard is fully a Christmas movie because there are
Yep.
different kinds. If there is only one kind, then I guess no, Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie.
Sure. And if there's only one kind, then that'd be boring, right? Like,
Right.
like it'd be like, how many more ways can you tell the Santa Claus story?
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, although we did just rewatch. We just watched The Grinch for the first time, the DreamWorks version
Oh yeah.
with Benedict
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
How is it?
Mm-hmm. It was good. It was fun. I mean, we were laughing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we were ROTFLing. The music, I was like, wow, I can't believe how Danny Elfman has like influenced like movies like this.
Really?
I was like, now even the younger composers sound just like Danny Elfman.
Huh.
And it gets to the credits, and it was Danny Elfman. Like the whole time, I didn't know it was him. I was like, I cannot believe this. Like he's
Yeah.
done everything Tim Burton,
Right.
and I was like, man, are they ripping him off so bad? And I was like, oh, it was him. Oops.
And then
It was like
Chad
Nightmare Before
leaned over
Christmas.
to you and said, "You're a musical genius."
You're a musical. Actually, dude, that happened. We were watching The Crown,
Okay, yeah. Yep.
um, which is also incredible.
Did you watch from the first season or are you just watching this latest
First
Princess Di
season.
one? Okay.
First season.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, these Hans Zimmer chords,
Mm.
dang,
Mm-hmm.
like incredible. And then it gets to the end, and it was like music by Hans Zimmer, and Aaron was like, dude, it was sixth grade shit. Aaron became, oh, that sounds very weird.
Aaron became a sixth grader leaning over and whispering in your ear. I don't know why that would
She,
sound weird.
well, I was gonna say she was turned into a sixth grade Chad. Um, my buddy sitting there, but I literally think for like 2 seconds, Aaron was reminded, oh, that sounds so arrogant. But she was reminded that I'm like good at music and stuff and have a good ear and whatnot and what have you.
Sometimes when you're married to somebody, you need to be reminded that they're good at stuff. For sure.
Yeah,
It
I
feels
actually think
good.
she was like, wow, dang, I'm whoa.
I'm married to a musical genius. So this whole is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I went and I did all this research, creative,
Okay, yep,
commercial, cultural data. I
yep.
counted how many times they said the word Christmas and how
Oh,
many times you see the images. And at the end of it, I was like, this is boring.
okay. You're
They don't
like,
need to
forget
hear
it.
all this. What they need to hear is there are different kinds of Christmas movies.
Right.
And
Yes.
this
Yes.
one falls into level 2 of Steven's Christmas taxonomy,
Mm-hmm.
which is it takes place during Christmas and has
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Christmas imagery in it. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to have a Santa message or a Jesus message at the end of it,
Right. Right.
or even a giving or believing is the answer to life message.
Sure.
It just has to have a lot of Christmas lights in it. This one happens during Christmas Eve,
Yep. So it's at a Christmas Eve party,
right?
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
And then just the feel, like like how like when directors like make a like if they do an outside shot and they wet the cement before the
Yep.
shot just to make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
like what just having a movie at Christmas does. It's a different feel. You're
Yes.
just like it's and especially for this year, 2020, it's like let's watch every movie, let's enjoy and savor every
Mm-hmm.
bite,
Yep.
every morsel, because we're never gonna have a Christmas like this again, and we're living in the tension
Right.
of difficulty and sadness,
Mm-hmm.
but also like Aaron and I were talking, like this is the slowest, least busy, most unhurried
100%.
Christmas of our lifetime.
And it will never be like this again. And
It
so you might as
totally.
well watch Prometheus because they have a Christmas tree
Mm.
in it.
Oh, dude, I reset up. I took the TV down from on top of our mantle, and now we're waiting for our furniture. But it's totally changed the whole
Yeah.
feel of the room.
Uh-huh.
Set up Sonos, and I just blasted the first 5 minutes of Prometheus.
Those horns.
Mm.
That is so good.
Oh,
Oh, I love it. And so, I'm not gonna bore you, listener, with
well,
all the
okay.
things I learned.
This is
Um,
what we love, though.
I
We
guess so.
Chad's spreadsheet of how much the McAllisters paid on Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 1 from the bonus disc episode.
Yeah,
Like,
that is pretty interesting. You're right. Okay, let me
pretty
give you a
awesome.
couple stats then.
Okay, I want it.
Christmas is said 18 times in
Yeah,
this
that's a
movie.
lot.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's more than they say kill, I think. That's more than they say die or hard.
Okay.
Um,
And F? Is it more than the F word?
I highly doubt that. I
Okay.
should have counted the F words. I remember counting the F words during Cliffhanger. Were you there?
No.
Okay, once we counted the F words in Cliffhanger, and it was like over 100.
Okay.
So I don't think Christmas has said more than the F word. And just let me say, one of the best uses, or the best uses of the F word in cinema. Do you think
Yep.
that's true?
Yep. Maybe. Yeah.
And the way that
yeah.
you get two top-notch actors saying it
Mm.
in different ways.
Yippee
So
ki
yeah,
Marabada.
maraba. He like
Yeah.
swallows the cur. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I know. It almost sounds like
Alan
sweeter.
Rickman. What did you say? Yippee-ki-yay. Maraba. Maraba.
Marabada.
But even Bruce Willis, and I hear it killed in the room when he said it the first time, which he
Oh,
kinda,
yeah.
he's like, yippee-ki-yay, marabada. You know, there's such swagger in that.
No. He's so amazing.
Mr.
Okay.
Falcon.
So Merry Christmas 18 times.
Yep. Christmas imagery.
Mm.
Okay. So like a Christmas tree or lights.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho. The
Mm-hmm.
Christmas tape that he tapes the gun
Mm.
on his back with.
Yep. This isn't tinsel, not just for decoration.
Not.
Tinsel.
We watched that 2 days ago. Elves with
Edited.
edited. Yeah, I counted 19
Wow.
Christmas elements. And then of course you've got the jingle bells in the score, right? Kind of
Yep,
that
and just all
distorted
over the
jingle
place.
bell
Yep.
sound.
Uh-huh.
I would say the biggest contention between me and Dad was that Beethoven's Ninth, that's the theme they
Yep.
use, is not a Christmas song.
Right.
And so
Interesting.
I
Interesting,
used that.
yeah.
I used that as like, and they're playing Beethoven's Ninth all over the place. And he's like, that's not a Christmas
Uh-huh.
song. They're playing that because
Way to
they're
go.
Germans.
Yes. Well done, Bob
Right.
Grauman.
Mhm.
Mr. Grauman.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Grauman to me. Well done on that one.
Yeah.
Because they could have played like Hallelujah chorus or some sort of Messiah.
Right.
But Beethoven 9. I mean, John McTiernan. So, dude, John McTiernan, when
Mhm.
we get to the one sheet, we'll get there. But he also did his next movie, Pertner, dude. The original Pertner, Hunt for Red October.
Right. Yeah, and the
Which
movie previous to this was Predator, I think, right?
what a dang. Okay,
Which is
it's just
Silvestri's Back to the Future score
oh, is it
over a horror movie, making Predator the least scary horror movie ever made.
okay, dude? Huge hole. I've never seen that.
Okay, it's
I've
pretty
never seen
good. I mean,
Predator.
Schwarzenegger is so unintentionally funny in that movie. I
Okay,
mean, that's where
even
Get to the
better.
Choppa is from, is
Okay,
Predator. Um, and he, which I mean, it's odd then that Bruce Willis, and I have a hot take on Bruce Willis,
okay.
his casting in this, is such a different star to choose. And then what did you just
Yep.
say is the next
Then
partner,
Hunt for Red October.
which is Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin. Yeah. So, but the music in Hunt for Red October, that was my whole point. Is like I
Yeah.
think John McTiernan has like he likes to use like classical music, or
Oh,
like in
okay.
Hunt for Red October, it's like this amazing like Russian men's chorus.
Really?
It's so, dude, you gotta see Hunt for Red October. It's friggin' amazing.
I've seen it one time in my
Um,
life.
okay, yeah, that's if that. I might need to put that on my list. Well, it's on my list.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
it's
but
on your
like
list, right?
we might need to upgrade that to
To
yeah,
sooner than later.
yeah, because it's so phenomenal. Okay, that was a good point by your dad though.
Yep.
That was
Um,
very good.
so we went back and forth on that a lot. There is like I think issues with the fact that it came out in July or June or something, right? It came out in the summer.
Mm.
Um,
Yep, it's
eh,
a summer blockbuster though. I mean, and
yep,
yeah, Die Hard.
definitely. It's
Yeah.
not used in the Christmas isn't really used on the poster at all or in the tagline, even though they mention it in the trailer, which we're about to listen to.
Okay.
Um, they mention that it's Christmas Eve. I found this Google Trends chart of
Mm-hmm.
how often Die Hard is Googled,
Mm.
and there is a every December there is a massive spike
Wow,
in
that's
Google
cool.
searches for Die Hard.
Okay.
So what that says, and that spike has been growing over the past 3 years. I think because of this resurgence of is Die Hard a Christmas movie stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Okay, so maybe Bruce Willis and the team was like, "Hey, let's start a controversy because it's going to make it even more of a Christmas movie."
oh, you mean
Th-
when Bruce Willis said it's not a Christmas movie, it's a Bruce Willis movie?
oh,
Come
I didn't
on,
know that's what he said.
that's what he said.
Oh man,
It's
that makes me feel worse. Dang it, why do you have to ruin it? I don't want to do this anymore. Forget it.
you knew that Bruce Willis came out and said it wasn't a Christmas movie. We
I
talked
didn't
about
know
it on
he
the
said it was
podcast
a Bruce
before.
Willis movie.
Oh, okay. That
I
part you
didn't
didn't know. Yeah.
I didn't know the second
Stupid.
half of that. Oh
Well,
gosh.
what I'm saying here, I was hoping to make you feel better with that because his point wasn't
Oh.
I'm gonna get up here and say it's not a Christmas movie. I'm gonna make a funny joke about how that's
Oh.
a Bruce Willis movie over anything else.
Okay. But it was a joke. It was said like
I
tongue in
think I think it's a
cheek.
joke. Yeah, it was
Okay,
like
yeah.
he got a big laugh and applause for it.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm just so just post election like thinking of male bravado, like just so
Well,
like
what we decided was we have seen this movie more than Bruce Willis has, and so we
oh right,
have more of a right to say whether it's a
totally.
Christmas movie or not.
Yep, we've watched the movie more than he filmed it, is what we said. Yeah, and we call it, and then again, once an artist releases a piece of art, then it's up to the
Right.
beholder.
Yeah, it's
Right
mine now.
now, I own it. And it's like also with the Chris with Christmas too. Like it's sort of like how I said the Thanksgiving dinner. So
Yep.
this is the opposite of my thought on Thanksgiving dinner, which
Uh-huh.
is like you have to eat that on Thanksgiving,
Right.
and I'm like never again. This
Ooh.
it's like you have to watch this on Christmas, not never again.
Well, and the more pushback there is against Die Hard, the more you want to watch it during Christmas. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I could see a take on that. Like, don't tell me that I have to watch it at Christmas. I'll watch it when I want to watch it.
Right. Um, before we get to the one sheet, I just want to add a Christmas movie that I don't think we've talked about much. This would be in my tier 3,
Okay.
which is there are scenes of
Mm-hmm.
Christmas in the movie. Um,
Got it.
when we rewatched Catch Me If You Can a couple
Right.
months ago, I was reminded that Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio always
Yep.
have a conversation on Christmas Eve.
Right.
And then he's
That
caught
rules.
on Christmas Eve at the
Hmm.
end.
Yep. In France.
Yep. In that
Right.
like little French
So.
town, and
Oh,
there's carolers outside. And at the beginning, um, his dad and his mom are dancing in front of the Christmas tree, and
yep.
she spills wine on the ground, and so that isn't a movie like Die Hard that happens contained only in Christmas, but Christmas keeps coming up in that movie. Um,
Sure.
and of course, the first time I mean, after we watched that, I was like, great, another one to watch during Christmas, wonderful. I can't wait.
Yes. Oh, I love Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
Another great original score by Williams featuring the saxophone and a marimba.
Mm.
I love it when he's like,
Yeah. Yep.
so cool.
Great score. It's kind
Um,
of that he was in that like um Terminal has that sort of like
yeah.
jazzy score.
Dooby doo deet, dooby doo deet, dooby 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 doo doo doo
Yep.
doo deet.
Tintin too has a great
Oh
um
yeah.
jazz score by Williams. So good.
Oh, I can hear the terminal now in my head. Oh, it sounds so good. Harry Potter too, or Harry
Yeah.
Potter as well,
Right?
has Christmas scenes.
Mm-hmm. It
Like it
does.
always, it's like a Halloween
Mm-hmm.
and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and
Yep.
but it's like it follows a school year every year, right?
Well, so we always watch the Harry Potter movies in the fall because of that. It's a school movie, and so that's fun
Yep.
to watch when school starts. But also
Yep.
those you can watch a Christmas movie without feeling bad because it's not a Christmas movie, but those so are. Because every single one has well, I don't think the seventh and eighth do. Oh no,
Right.
the seventh one does. The eighth doesn't.
Okay.
Um,
Die Hard though,
Die Hard.
it like by it being a Christmas movie, it ensures that everybody will watch it once a year at least.
Right.
So it should be super. Bruce Willis should be super happy about that. Hey, by the way, we also watched Ocean's 12 recently. Bruce
Yeah.
Willis makes a great appearance in that.
Does he play
I
himself
had completely
in that
forgotten.
one?
He plays himself,
Right.
and Julia Roberts is
Mm-hmm.
playing Julia Roberts.
Well,
You know,
I
like
thought she was playing somebody who looks like Julia Roberts. Is
right,
that right?
yeah,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
right. So she's not Julia Roberts in the movie, even though she's being played by Julia Roberts. But that's like one of the Matt Damon's things. He's like, has anybody ever said she looks like? Shh, don't, don't, don't,
Oh, wait,
don't.
so part of the heist is she pretends to be Julia Roberts so
Yeah,
that she can get in with Bruce Willis, who's playing
no.
himself.
So that just so that she can get in to see this Fabergé egg thing,
Oh,
so they can
right.
steal it.
Yeah.
And the problem is Bruce Willis is staying at that hotel,
Yeah.
and he breaks in to talk to Julia Roberts, who's not Julia Roberts, and it's a whole fiasco because like
Yep.
now she's starstruck because she's
Mhm.
seeing Bruce Willis for the first time in person because she's
I
not
would be
actually
too.
Julia.
Yeah.
He's so handsome.
That's my favorite
It's
part of
perfect
Ocean's
skin.
12 by far. Oh, yeah. Bruce Willis's perfect head. We need to talk about that. Full head of hair in this movie.
Looks incredible. Wait, but favorite part in Ocean's 12 though, dude, Hagrid, man, when they have that whole conversation, it's
I don't
Brad
remember.
Pitt,
Uh-huh.
dude, Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
Daniel Ocean, George Clooney,
Yeah.
Matt Damon, and Hagrid.
Uh-huh.
Except he's shaven,
Right.
and they have a whole conversation like over a drink in code.
Oh, I don't
Do
remember.
you
I'll have to
remember
watch that movie
It's-
again.
Oh, so
I haven't seen
funny.
that movie in a long time.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Anyways, great.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the one sheet.
Okay. Oh, right. Here we go. All right. Die Hard,
Die Hard.
July 20th, 1988. Okay.
Yeah. Summer
It
release.
is over. Yep. Came out July 20th, summer.
Mhm.
Just after. I wonder what the 4th of July release. We'll get there for the other movies released around that time.
Okay.
2 hours and 12-minute runtime. That is pretty long.
Yeah, I think
But-
it feels a bit long in parts to me.
Oh, hot take. Okay.
I
Might need to put
can't
that
tell you
in
what
the
the parts are, and it might be a planes trains situation where I've seen it so much, and I'm just like, I wanted to get to this part. Hurry up and
Yeah.
get to that part. So I'm
Got
not
it.
going to hold the 212 against it. No way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you would cut.
Yeah,
Everything
you're right.
pays off. It's
Yep,
perfect.
You're totally right.
We're coming in hot, dudes. Nation, this movie is perfect. Okay.
This is not a This is not a Mitchell
No.
McDear situation where I just have to
Nope.
prove that it's perfect. This is I think this is the best action movie ever made. Trial.
Yep. This is one of the best movies ever made.
Yes, I
Like
agree.
like my wife loves it. She's not a huge action movie person, but
Hmm.
she would watch this any day, not just Christmas.
I can't wait to get to the trial so we can reveal
Great.
why those things are. Yeah.
Okay, good. Budget was 28 million.
Hmm.
Bruce Willis got 5 of that
That
for
seems
his
like a lot.
first movie. His first, yeah, like he had some talent agent that just
Uh-huh.
like, dang. We'll get to that with the other cast choices.
Okay.
Okay, grossed 83 million domestic, 141 million worldwide.
Hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It did get nominated for 4 Oscars, although it didn't win. They were all in kind of like the production,
Okay.
sound, film editing, sound
Right.
effects editing, and visual effects.
Hmm.
All amazing.
Yeah.
This was based on a book
Right.
called Nothing Lasts Forever, um,
Old
by
book,
Robert
right? I
Thorpe.
mean, not a
Right.
new book.
It's from the 70s. Have I read it? No. Have I read The Detective? No. Have I heard
Has
of Robert
anybody
Thorpe?
read those books? No. I don't think
Okay.
you need to feel bad about not reading those books.
Well, I have thousands of books I need to read before that. If I finish like everything you want me to read and like I'm supposed to read for being smart.
And then finally you get to Nothing Lasts Forever, the movie that Die Hard is loosely based on.
I know. Like, okay, I'll never read that. Forget it.
No, cross it off
Die
that
Hard's
list of
better.
things that you're going to read. Yeah.
See, these are the kind of to-do lists that cause me so much depression and anxiety. Is like one day
Let me
I'm gonna
release you
read.
from ever having to think about
Okay,
Nothing Lasts Forever again.
okay, that's the last time I'm gonna think. And that one didn't really cause me any worry, but
Okay, that's good.
although I was like last week, I was like, should I read that?
I'm sure you were.
What a waste! What a waste of time. Because it's so loosely based on it. Did you
Yeah.
ever see The Detective though? The other movie that it's.
No, is that that's Sinatra, right?
Yep.
Okay. No, I
Um.
never saw it.
Okay. Mean to
Okay. Yeah.
check that off the to-do list for having done that before recording this. Um. I have so many to-do lists. I still need. I told you about this one. I still need to mow the lawn before Aaron's family comes for Christmas last year. I haven't crossed that one off yet.
But they've come.
Yeah, and we don't live there anymore. Like that
You're
was 2 years.
insane. Cross it off. You sold that house and the yard next to it.
I'm so messed up. Sorry. Okay. Other movies released around this time.
Yeah.
This is a good year, dude. Rain Man,
Mm-hmm.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
Big,
Wow.
Twins,
Double wow.
Dangerous Liaisons. Never heard of that
Beetlejuice.
yet. I just thought I'd say one that was like I don't even know what that is.
That's
Have a movie
Michelle
podcast,
Pfeiffer,
probably.
I think. Dangerous Liaisons.
Okay.
Fish Called Wanda. Mm.
Yes. Kevin Kline.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
I was in Austria,
Mm-hmm.
88. I remember going to see the release schedule must have been different. I remember going to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit and seeing the poster for Die Hard in German
Oh.
coming out of the theater.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So
Now,
all of these movies deeply ingrained in me because going to a movie was huge for us.
yep. Yep. One of
we
the
just
things.
didn't go often.
Yep. Again, Mr. Grauman, one of the most important characters and influencers of the two Gomers. Obviously, because Gomer 2 wouldn't even be here. And he changed my life and your life. It
Mhm.
always comes up every few episodes. He
Yeah.
instilled the love of movies in you, and you guys helped instill it in me.
Right.
So now, how do you remember when you first saw this movie?
I do. It was at I was a freshman. I was
Okay.
at a wind ensemble party at Tracy Leland's house. This is before you were in high school.
Yep. I was still a little whippersnapper.
And we watched Die Hard and Die Hard 2 at that
Wow,
party.
like a lay down day or like a
Yeah.
double feature.
Well, I think what happened was we watched Die Hard and then Die
Mhm.
Hard 2 started. I think it was probably on TV. And then Die
Oh
Hard 2 was
yeah,
on in the background.
got it.
But I remember thinking, where have you been all my life, Die Hard?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I've gone at that point. It was 5 years without having
Yeah.
seen this movie. And then, Die Hard 2 was on in the background, but I wasn't at that point paying much attention to the party because I wanted, and then when, uh, Al comes on for that cameo, that brief
Yep.
cameo,
Yep.
um, I was like, it's him.
Yes.
As if I had been waiting for that for 5 years or something.
Yeah, and you only had to wait 5 minutes
Right.
or at least an hour. And I bet that movie when it's on TV is probably like 4 hours long, all the commercials and stuff.
And he says Mr. Falcon, I think, even in the first one.
Oh,
Um,
right.
uh, yeah, Yippee Ki Mr. Falcon, a character that does not show up until the second movie. But I think
Got
on
it.
TV he'll say that in the first movie too.
Yippee ki mara
Mr.
mara,
Falcon.
Mr. Falcon.
I'm
I
assuming
wonder if
then
I.
I watched Die Hard then every year since then.
Yep. Okay, so I don't remember the first time I watched it. I
Okay.
I know it must have been somewhere around then, somewhere in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've said before, my family's not huge into like action movies.
Sure.
My mom probably would have seen it. I don't know. My dad didn't give a rip about movies,
Right.
so
So it's not
I'm sure
something you would
he.
have watched with kith and kin
No,
of a
I
Christmas Eve, right?
I know. I just I all I really remember, dude, is watching Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Uh-huh.
Santa Claus,
Yeah.
but that was
The night they
later.
saved.
Yep. See, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love it so. Oh man, I have a couple of great takes. I can't wait to record that.
The night they
Um,
saved took all the real estate that Die Hard would have in your family movie viewing.
that is like okay. That's like if somebody didn't know that like Beethoven existed and only listened to like Mannheim Steamroller. Like they're like, this is music. Now Mannheim
You'd
Steamroller
be
is
so
good,
mad.
but like there's this world out there
Yeah.
of like
Right.
you know
Yeah.
of like Mozart and Beethoven and
Mm-hmm.
Brahms.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Rotten Tomatoes 94% for critic and audience. I mean that's
Right.
huge.
Yep.
I thought
Oh,
this
hold
was
on,
funny.
hold
Top,
on.
oh,
Shoot. What are you at?
29, 30.
Okay. Can we restart right there?
Yep. What happened?
I stopped right at 20. I said, oh, hold on, right at 29:25.
Okay, great.
I don't know what you had just said.
Hold on.
Sorry, I accidentally opened my stupid AirPods.
No
So
problem.
then it connects. That is a
Oh,
rookie mistake.
no problem. So what where was it?
29:25.
29, 25. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, 29, 25.
Mm-hmm.
Great, let's start there. Hold on. I have to write down what I said. And that we can move on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Just had to write down where I was. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3, click. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I mean, this is huge. Dude, number one song that year. Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry. Be happy now.
Dude, great song.
Sure.
Love it.
I'm sure Bobby McFerrin's biggest hit, right? I mean, he's not getting on top 10 pop charts with his Yo-Yo Ma album.
Right. Well, or like circle songs that is
Oh,
like
right.
blew my mind.
Mm,
Like, but yeah,
that's a great
this was
album,
his.
yeah.
This was like his pop. I mean, this. All you need to do is just write one of those, man.
Yes.
Retire on that.
Yep.
Why can't we? I still want to have one lick like do 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 do. Like I just one lick that can, or like one jingle
Yeah.
that you can retire on and then do your thing.
Yeah.
That's like About a Boy, right? That.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Another
Um,
great Christmas movie.
Hey, did I tell you real quick my Bobby McFerrin story?
No, I have one
Um,
too. What's yours?
oh, great. Um, he, so I played in WISO, Wisconsin Youth Symphony,
Yep.
and one Saturday morning,
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend John Bickham. Do you remember that guy?
Bassoonist extraordinaire.
Yep.
Yep.
We both took a gig. We were ringers for Memorial High School Symphony,
Yeah,
and
right.
so we
Your
both
your
phoned
first ringer gig.
one of my first. We both phoned it into WISO
Uh-huh.
and played like the graduation or something for
Okay.
Memorial High School, where
Yeah.
neither of us went.
Okay. Who are these
Later we
guys?
find later we find out the guest conductor for WISO that morning was Bobby McFerrin.
No. Oh man, that's a
So we were like,
terrible
we
story.
skipped WISO the one
No.
day where like they had a guest conductor. Our conductor ruled, but dude, it was Bobby McFerrin. Like
No.
what?
Oh, that's the worst Christmas story. That's very Dickensian, this story that you're telling.
So
Sorry, man.
sad. That's
Um,
okay.
I saw Bobby McFerrin live
Mm.
uh when I was in college. Jessica and I went to go see a Bobby McFerrin show. He had a full orchestra
Oh.
with him.
St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Because he was their
Um,
music director for a while, I think.
okay, maybe he brought them. I mean, we were pretty close. We are 90
Yeah.
minutes away. Um, and the finale of the show was he improvised an orchestra, a symphony piece. And so
Oh
he
my
went and
gosh.
he sang the trumpet part to them and they played it.
Oh,
He sang the
dang.
strings part to the string and then of course he sang a song over the whole thing. Um
Dude.
and then
That's
I saw him
awesome.
coming out the back and everybody getting into the bus and I ran over him and tried to say hi and he totally ignored me.
I have a
The
couple
end.
stories like that. Yeah, where I was like, I just have to meet the person. I remember I talked to Michael W. Smith. He was already in his PJs. I was like, I just have to say hey to him. But I was like, I'm not going to do a selfie because he's already in.
Right.
Um, and then Robin Williams. Remember he signed my brown bag.
No, I don't remember that
Um,
one.
he was performing at the right across from the White Horse Inn at the Civic Center or
Oh,
the
right.
Oscar
Yeah.
Mayer.
Yep.
And me and Aaron ran into him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I got to get a signature. All I have is my to-go food. But he had a Sharpie, and he's like, I'll sign your brown bag.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yep.
Do you still have that brown bag anywhere?
I guarantee it's in one of those boxes in my closet.
Yep. A
Actually,
box that
he was
just
like,
says Anthony's stuff on it. I have those in my closet. Stephen
totally,
High School. Just a box.
totally. Hey, one more thing, and then we got to
Yeah,
do, this is just jam-packed, but we're going extra on this.
I know.
Okay. Well, actually, we'll get to Bruce Willis's casting
Okay, yeah, let's hold
later.
that off. Yep.
Um, so if you haven't watched, and I'm sure you have, the movies that made us on
Oh,
Netflix.
I guess I watched that last year. They came
Okay.
out last year, right? I remember watching the Home Alone one.
Yep. So there's a Die Hard
I
one. I
wonder
watched
if
it
I
this
did.
morning.
Okay. Yeah.
I watched it last year,
Mm-hmm.
and um, Reginald Vell Johnson, you know,
Love it. Uncle Carl.
Sergeant L. Powell. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow. Man, I mean, the whole thing is funny, like super informative, really interesting. If you like this podcast, you'll like love that
Yeah.
45 minutes of like
Okay.
great stuff.
Yep.
But he is like so amazing and emotional in that.
Okay.
Like he talks about how he owes his life to Die Hard, like to getting
Wow.
that gig. And he
Yeah.
talked about his audition. So the other person that was up for it, which is from the Gomer One Sheet, was Wesley Snipes.
That would have been bad.
Oh, that totally. So like what he says in the thing is like, I listened to Wesley Snipes do his interview or his audition.
Okay. Yeah.
I could hear it through the door, and he's like, I did the exact opposite.
Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
he said he got the gig, and he called his mom, who had supported him for his whole career.
Right.
And like it was like the best moment. She got to see the movie.
Huh.
He bought her a house
Oh,
with
amazing.
the money. It's just like it was amazing. He go like they follow him to go see
Yeah.
Nakatomi Tower,
Right.
and he's like crying. It's just great. So
Well, and playing the opposite of Wesley Snipes
yeah,
is a genius idea because
totally.
that's a great dynamic, right?
Yeah.
That
Yep.
Reginald Vell Johnson and Bruce Willis have, right? It's not two
Yep.
action heroes talking.
Right. Totally.
It's not Die Hard and Die Hard on a plane talking to
Yeah.
each other. It's two different guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I just want to apologize before I have to write out an apology. I don't know why I said Uncle Carl. Nobody calls him Uncle Carl in
Oh,
Family
right.
Matters. I got Full House confused. I'm sorry. Sorry, Reginald. Carl. That's what I remember. Steve Urkel.
Oh,
He never
yeah.
called him Uncle Carl. What am I thinking? Okay,
It's all
let
good.
me read the back of the VHS box. Here we go. So good.
Mm.
Pictures of him running around, swinging around. Edge of your seat is the quote. You'll have a whale of a time, which makes no sense. There's no whales in it. Okay,
What?
a whale of a time.
Is that supposed to be like? Oh, okay.
I don't think it's supposed to be
Like,
anything. It's just supposed to be
okay.
like this guy says you'll have a good time. Okay,
What a hoot.
exactly. High above the city of LA, a team of terrorists, not true.
Right.
This is interesting to me, has seized a building, taking hostages, and declared war. But one man has managed to escape detection, an off duty cop. He's alone, tired, and the only chance anyone has. Bruce Willis stars as New York City detective John McClane, newly arrived in Los Angeles to spend the Christmas holiday. Christmas is on the box
Ah.
with his estranged wife, Bonnie Bedelia, in parentheses. But as McClane waits for his wife's office party to break up, terrorists seize control of the building, while the terrorist leader, Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, and his savage henchman, Alexander Goodenough, round up hostages. McClane slips away unnoticed, armed with only a service revolver and his cunning. McClane launches his own one-man war, a crackling thriller from beginning to end. Die Hard explodes with heart-stopping suspense. Good News Nation, it's in color. 132 minutes, 1988. Oh boy. Well, this, I mean, you look at this, the credits on this thing. The one I just want to say is the DP, director of photography, Jan de Bont,
Mm.
goes off, directs two of my favorite action movies of the 90s, Speed
Ooh.
and Twister.
Oh, I didn't know it was the same guy.
Yeah, he's the DP
Nice.
in Die Hard, and he directs
Cool.
Speed and Twister.
Oh, directs.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yep,
Okay, Speed rules.
love Speed.
Speed is perfect as well.
When's the last time you saw
Like,
Twister?
Twister's incredible. I mean, Twister makes me think of back to the old Two Gomers original Florida days. I
Yeah.
used to watch Storm Chasers get a Subway sandwich and then run a 10-miler. So like
The perfect combination, the perfect day.
it was like my Tuesday afternoon evening ritual. Remember, I would do night runs. Our
Yeah.
LSRs were supposed to be on like Sunday, and I would do them on like Tuesday night
Yep. Yeah.
after
I
watching
do.
Storm Chasers having Subway and a venti coffee.
And then get on out there and pound the pavement.
Totally. Or Chipotle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's double wrapped.
Mm.
All right. Let's listen to the trailer.
Okay.
I gotta love an 80s trailer. Great narrator. And like I said, it does say Christmas in the trailer and on the back of the box. Let's put this argument away. It's a Christmas
All right.
movie, fools.
Great.
Great.
All right, you want to play? Oh, we can stop this.
Right.
Play the trailer just so we can
Yep.
hear it. Okay,
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, stop. I'm at 39:31. Saving that.
Great. I am too.
Great.
Okay, let me share screen so we can all watch this together.
Oh, I didn't get around to that.
Oh no, I didn't share sound. Hold on. See that?
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
There you go.
Is Daddy coming home soon? Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
And New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real abuse of power.
They're as brilliant
Because I am interested in the $640 million in your vault.
as they are ruthless.
But I'm telling you, you're just gonna have to kill me. Okay.
Takagi.
We do it the hard way.
Now, the last thing McClane wants
Think, damn it, think.
is to be a hero,
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
but he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
They have already killed
That looks like
one
Terminator.
hostage.
This channel is
They
reserved
totally
for
did.
emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza? He's inside? Who is he? Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance
That-
against
So
us?
many
Lord?
explosions.
Yeah.
Just
Mada,
destroyed
mada.
a building.
That guy. Dwayne The Rock.
Situation.
Well, I got some bad news for you. Come up here, they look like you're in charge of Jack.
That was amazing. You're in charge of Jack. Boo!
Hey, pal, how you feeling?
All things being equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
Only
why?
John can drive somebody that crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying that.
He's an easy guy to like
Philadelphia.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
and a hard man
Oh,
to
I
kill.
love it.
Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Oh, very cool.
Literally makes me want to pick up smoking, dude.
He looks great smoking.
I mean, like, doesn't that like, it's only our Gomertrons watching? Doesn't that make you want to like be a smoker?
Yeah, but
Sorry
most
if
people look
anybody's
real dumb
trying
smoking.
to quit or.
Yeah, I would say most people look
I
bad
know.
smoking. He looks great.
He
smoking.
looks friggin' cool.
Yes.
He's got the Zippo,
Yep.
that perfect sound. All right, let's do it. Sorry.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Right. I'm at 39:31. Where are you at?
I'll do that. I'm 3931.000.
Perfect. All right, let's do it.
Ready.
Right. Yep. 1, 2, 3, click. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Whoa, that is really long.
Dude. Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, let me stop.
Sorry.
Do you want to hang up and come back in? Try that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Yeah,
Okay.
just you can keep recording.
Okay.
I'll leave and
All right. It's just you and me, nation. Just you and me, Gomertrons. Looking forward to the party coming up. I guess it would be a couple weeks from now. If you have not sent us any presents, you better get on it. So I can put you on my list for Christmas cards. You get my Christmas card if you send me a present. Even if you can't send present, that's not required. We still want to have you here at our party. Okay, hold on. I didn't see him. I don't see him. Don't see him yet. This is going to be very thrilling to watch. Oh, there he is.
any better?
Let's try to clap again.
All right. So let's go back to 39:30.
Okay.
Let's just go back there. All right, ready?
No, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, click. Oops. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Much better.
All rise.
Hey, how's it going, you mother?
You.
You mother.
I always remember watching Usual Suspects on TV, and I think it's Stephen Baldwin says fairy godmother a lot instead of
Oh.
effing C's
Oh, really?
Esser.
Fairy godmother.
um, we after we watched that trailer, while we were watching that trailer, I thought of another 80s trope,
Yep.
which is calling the police or calling 911 and them not believing you.
Right. Yeah.
So that happened in
Yep.
Goonies,
Yep.
happens in Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happens again here where they're like, just stop calling us.
Right. It's like, shouldn't you just believe?
Right.
Like, shouldn't that be like the default setting is, well, you sound crazy, but I'll
And
go check it
I
out.
certainly hear gunshots in the background, but
Yeah.
leave us alone.
Right. You know what? That's a stricken.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah,
But we forgot to do
it is
Strickens
annoying
earlier.
to me. Do you have another stricken?
No. You know how she like when the guns go off and then she like pulls the earpiece out because it'd
Yeah.
be super loud.
Yep.
I don't think that would happen. It wouldn't be any louder. It would just go like, it would just like
Right.
clip. You know what I mean?
It would clip. You're right. It would clip the sound. You're totally right.
No, I do have 2 Strickens and a Siskel and a Ebert stricken.
Okay, before we get into
Real
the
quick.
trial,
Yep.
we are sometimes allowed to strike things from the record. We call them strickens.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's gonna strike a couple things from the record before we get into the trial.
Okay. Here's Ebert, okay?
Okay.
But you can also see there, I think, one of the big weaknesses of the movie, and that's the idiotic behavior of the Los Angeles Police Department. There was one character in this movie, a deputy chief, whose actions are so stupid and so unmotivated and wrong-headed that finally he just brings the movie to a stop every time he opens his mouth. Bad writing. He always says the wrong thing. He understands nothing. And with a movie like this, once you start picking out the loopholes, and there are a lot of them, it doesn't matter how good the stunts or the special effects are, or even how good Bruce Willis is. You just can't stay interested.
Huh. Interesting.
That's
he
not
needs that.
stricken
He
for
needs
me.
that stricken. He needs that stricken in his own mind in order to
Yeah.
really enjoy this movie. Yeah.
That's why I loved that he said that. Like basically, we need to look over.
Mm-hmm.
You look over a lot of things. I was like, oh, he does his own strickens.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
liked that.
Yep.
No, okay. My only main stricken, real quick, is well, two, okay, is
Okay.
that every other Christmas movie that I love, I can leave on and it's safe for my kids.
Okay, I see.
That's
Not this
a
one.
bummer.
Yeah.
With 5 and 9-year-olds is like this movie, like pre-kid and
Yep.
then kid 0 to, well, maybe not 0. I mean, through whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can't watch. Maybe you could watch the TV. Actually, it's too violent, honestly. I wouldn't want him to see like Takagi's head blown off and
No,
it's
it's
just too
very
graphic.
violent. The
Yeah,
language is very bad. There's
But yeah.
nudity. There's
Yeah.
Yep. This is which is I think one of the reasons why it gets discounted as a Christmas movie.
It's an adult Christmas movie.
Right. And so this is
Okay.
not something that you can now. We sat around as a family, enjoyed every minute.
Yeah. Well, the kids these days in their video games and their
Oh yeah,
music.
my kids are jaded with their Fortnites.
Right. But I still have little ones. So
Definitely.
sadly, it was difficult for Aaron and I to watch this.
Yeah.
So that's just that's more just said for just to note that kind of
Right.
for fun.
Yeah.
And then Aaron's family has had a rule. Like Aaron's mom has rules,
Okay.
and one of their family rules is you're never barefoot in a hotel room ever.
Okay.
I think it was like 2020 or some sort of like news broadcast that like showed what happens in hotel rooms and how
Yeah.
dirty they are.
Yeah, definitely. I see.
And
Like sometimes if you have bare feet in a hotel room, like the bottoms of your feet turn black.
exactly. And there's stuff that happens in hotels that it's not good.
Right.
It's not sanitary.
But
So-
not in your wife's suite, right? At like
Right.
he's not in a hotel room.
Good point. Good point. So what we're talking about is at the very first line of the movie, or one of the first lines, is he's like, when you get where you're going,
see. Yeah.
he's like, take your socks off,
Uh-huh.
and then make fists with your toes on the bare carpet,
Right.
which I agree is amazing. I might even take my socks off and do that now,
Yeah, that's a pretty good tip.
and better than a shower and a hot cup of coffee.
Now, you're not gonna like my first evidence.
Oh.
You're not gonna like my exhibit. I will say this about bare feet in places. Jessica and I have very different tolerances for that.
Okay.
She is a barefoot person in general, but in public she can't do bare feet, and I can. I think part of the reason for that is I spent 2 months in Calcutta in bare feet walking through a city.
Right. Wait.
And I was fine with that.
Yeah, but okay. But you walk in bare feet, like what, to the store?
No, I don't. But I'm saying I wouldn't have a problem at a hotel room being in bare feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
well,
I'm
okay.
just like, it's just the pads of my feet. Who cares? I can wash
Got
that
it, but-
off. But
so in
she
public-
is utterly grossed out by that.
Okay.
In public.
In public, you meant stuff like that, or like at a hotel or something
Right.
like not going to church or something.
Exactly. No, I don't do that, but I would say I'm fine with it in different ways than
Got
she
it.
is. Let's just jump then right into our exhibits, and I will just. Okay. So this is how it works. If this is your first, if for some reason you decided to listen to this Die Hard episode among the, what do you think, thousands of other podcasts?
There's so many podcasts. It's ridiculous. I didn't know how, when we started this, I didn't know how common it is for two basic white dudes to talk about movies and podcast about it. So we
Die
appreciate
Hard in
you.
particular.
I know it's like Die Hard and like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Just a few of these that like this is on every single one has their own. But what other one though?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is talking about some of the stuff we're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Who else is doing Space Camp and Just Mercy? So you're gonna have to come to the Gomers for that action. All right. So we take a movie we love. This is definitely a movie we love. We put it on trial and try to prove that it is indeed perfect. We've already showed our hands that we actually do think this one is perfect. We're not just trying to prove it. I get a vote. Anthony gets a vote. You'll hear that sound that you just heard when we get our exhibit. And we'll present it at the end. Like I said, we'll both get votes. We'll put it out as a poll on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All that is Two Gomers. You can vote, and then we'll come back in about a week and reveal the results. If that movie is perfect, it goes on a flash drive. We launch it. Launches soon. We're going to launch these pretty soon. Our 2020 movies. Up to V'ger, which takes it to the Xenomorphs from Alien. They sit down with Sigourney Weaver. They watch the movies. They hug. They're good little boys and girls. They're converted.
Yep. So is Die Hard gonna make it? We're gonna make the best case we possibly can. Dude.
Yeah.
On our rundown, I have me. Is it okay if I go first?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dang it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the very first thing you see in this movie,
yes,
after the Terminator style huge letterings of the late 80s, early 90s, like
and
this,
does
like
Bruce Willis come in on the side, right? You see Die Hard. I know that happened in the trailer. You see Die Hard, and then Bruce comes from the right, Willis comes from the left, and
oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
Did they think that was like amazing? Like, was
I guess
it
so.
hard?
That must have been a very cool effect then.
It's just like, was that a hard thing to do? Like, you know, like computer graphics. It's like, this is incredible because there are no computer graphics in this.
No.
But okay, my first piece of evidence is the first thing you see in this movie is the weakness of the main character.
Okay.
in that one shot,
Mm-hmm.
action movies are redefined forever.
Okay.
The very first thing you see is his hand clenched because he's afraid of flying. Like Indiana Jones is afraid of snakes.
He's scared of heights. It's a great
Um,
like opener. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So like immediately you have like you see a depth of character. The hero has some weakness.
Yeah.
And I was watching this interview with John McTiernan, who, this is his movie.
Right.
And he said that we were constantly trying to dial down toxic masculinity
Right.
of everything beforehand.
Which is weird for him to say because he just did Predator
I know.
with Schwarzenegger.
Right. So I don't know where that came from because
I
it
wonder,
actually
yeah.
it wasn't his idea because like he talks about it's in that movies that made us thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's like that Bruce Willis was not his first choice.
Mm-mm.
Like they
Yeah,
were
I think I
like,
knew that.
can you make this work with Bruce Willis? And he's like, I guess.
Well, and who was up for it? I'm seeing some of the other
Okay,
cast
so
choices here.
So it originally went. It's laughable because he was like 60. Not the 60s can't be action heroes. Look at Temple of Doom, or I mean, Crystal Skull.
Or Die Hard 5 and 6.
Right. Oh,
Right.
right. Okay. But Frank Sinatra was the original detective, and this is the same guy.
Oh, okay. So they offered it to him?
Well, okay, so it was like contractually they had to.
Okay. I must not have seen this movies that made us because I don't know this.
Okay, so like it sounds funny, but like they were like, we have to offer it, but he like has to say no.
Right.
Which of course. The person that they wrote it for, like Jeb Stewart, who also wrote The Fugitive.
Ooh.
The screenplay.
Yummy. Yeah.
Yummy. Handsome.
Two handsome guys.
He was picturing Clint Eastwood the whole time.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
But apparently Clint Eastwood didn't quite get the humor. So then the next people in line were Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
But then that casting dude or that talent scout agent dude was like, you should try my dude, Bruce Willis.
He's in Moonlighting.
He's the spokesman for Seagram's something
I didn't
or
know
other.
that.
is like I was trying to think of like an analog of who this would be now.
Okay, here's my hot take.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, I have this weird Moonlighting memory. I think my parents watched Moonlighting.
I think I've seen that as well in the background too.
Okay. Yeah, and the episode I remember was, I know there was a big will they won't they thing going on with him and Sybil Shepherd. The episode I remember was, I think one of them got conked on the head and had like this Star Trek style olden times. You know when they go, sometimes they go in the, what's that place called? The holodeck. And then all of a sudden they have a whole episode about how they're in the 20s or something.
Yep.
It was like that.
Felicity as well.
Okay. And Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis actually get together in the dream, but then he wakes up and it's like the sexual tension still exists. Anyways,
got it.
Here's my theory about action movies. Stars of action movies, hire a comedian. It doesn't matter if they're super ripped. It's a more interesting movie if that star has some comedian chops. So the analog now is the Marvel Universe, where I think the best superheroes are Paul Rudd, Chris Pratt.
Yep.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. to a certain extent is a comic actor.
Oh yeah, he's totally like cynical,
right,
and sarcastic, but funny.
So I think Bruce Willis started all of that.
100%.
I think you can trace Paul Rudd's casting as Ant-Man to Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Totally. And that all starts with that hand on the plane, dude. It's like that. That's why I wanted to pick that. It's like that's the moment right there where everything changed, where the comedic everyman becomes an action star.
Yeah. I mean, Kumail Nanjiani is in a Marvel movie now coming up. He looks ripped, but this is a comedian, right? It's like I think it's interesting to not just like this. It just looks like all the usual suspects here, right?
Yeah,
Harrison Ford,
totally.
Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Clint Eastwood,
Right.
the most humorless man I can imagine. I mean, has Clint Eastwood ever smiled? It would be such a it would be such a it would be a movie lost in the other hundreds of action movies
Totally.
of that time.
It'd be in a stack of movies
Yep.
that would just be, a box office okay, and
Yeah.
it was good.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's when lightning is trapped in a bottle is like what happened with this movie. It's
Yeah.
Bruce Willis who, like, in the when they play the trailers,
Mm-hmm.
like, they do all this stuff and then they show Bruce Willis, and I guess the audience laughed.
Okay. Yeah,
Like-
because they were like the moon landing guy.
Right, so that's what I want to find the analog for it now. Is like, let's say they're remaking, and it would be amazing, but like, let's say they're remaking Jurassic Park or Terminator or something like that, like
Right.
some big action movie, and then they put like, well, even like Michael Keaton Batman.
That's what I was going to
Like
say.
that.
I think that's I think Robert Pattinson Batman probably got a laugh at first. He's not a comic actor, but I
Right.
like it when it's an unusual casting. Michael Keaton's a great one, honestly. Because
Yep.
Michael Keaton.
Right, Mr. Mom is Batman? What? Like, Moonlighting guy is
Right.
Die Hard?
Yeah.
But like it's like when it I want to know, like, who that could be now. Like, what if they put like Steve Carell?
Right. Well, that's why I think Paul Rudd is probably the best
Okay.
example of it now.
Yep.
Because speaking of Steve Carell, right? He's in Anchorman, right?
Right.
As a sleazeball, and it doesn't work. And then you're gonna hire Chris Pratt. He was a dumpy boy.
Chris Pratt is perfect, totally. Because I actually know Chris Pratt more from movies than went back and watched Parks and Rec.
Okay, right.
So I had like
Yeah.
an Aquafina thing
Uh-huh.
where I saw her in Farewell and then Crazy
Right,
Rich Asians.
and you're like, oh, she's a dramatic actress.
Right. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilarious.
So I really I love this, that not only do you see that handshaking, but it doesn't pan out to Schwarzenegger.
Well, and you wouldn't buy. See, that's part of my point. Is you wouldn't buy
Mm-hmm.
a handshaking and then it pans out and it's Schwarzenegger.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you're already feeling this dude is more complex.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
oh, he's like our hero, but he's afraid of flying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's got some complexities, and then he gets to the Nakatomi Tower,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees just every single line, California.
He hates
You know, like-
California. He can't believe he's in California.
I love how he delivers that line.
Yep.
But
Effing
he's just different.
California. So he says.
He's just different than any action star before. It's a paradigm shift,
Right.
and that's when it happens.
Okay, let me chunk in. We're going for it. Because I
Yes.
think the other amazing thing they do, much to Aaron's mom's chagrin,
Mm.
is they keep him weak in certain ways with the
Yep.
bare feet.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And so I submit to you Bruce Willis's bare feet as Exhibit
we've
B.
Exhibit 1, hands.
Hand shaking. Exhibit B, bare feet. First of all, I think the bare feet, what it represents to me is that I think you were saying this before. Everything that's set up, every Chekhov's gun
Yeah,
in the first 15 minutes goes off in the third act.
totally. Yep.
So there's the bare feet, there's the shaking hand, there's the part where she has changed, she's using her maiden name.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say when he gets to Nakatomi Tower
Right.
and sees that all he does is he just goes like,
Yeah,
or
it's
is
just
there a line?
it's shown and not told how he feels
Right.
about that, right?
Yep.
Um,
Exactly. Yep.
but that pays off because then Alan Rickman doesn't know who she is, right? And so that's set up.
Perfect.
And then when she
Perfect. Yep.
flips the picture down, because she's nervous to look at him in the picture, she flips the picture down to the family. He doesn't know that they're married. Um, like the watch, right? Her
Yes.
Rolex.
Yep.
You totally forget about the Rolex until the last 5 minutes of the movie when it almost kills her.
Dude. Okay, so that right there, I almost had that as my second piece of evidence because I knew hand and foot, hand, foot, mouth. We should have had mouth.
Anything mouth? Is there any mouth related stuff?
Maybe the language.
That's true. They're dirty mouths. Those dirty mouths.
Yeah, mata. No, but yeah, like she is so career driven that okay, I'm not gonna put it on her because he's also a pig-headed dude that. Oh man, it's just the way Argyle like pulls that exposition out so naturally. You're like,
Argyle
let me
is
guess,
the
he's
Mr.
married.
DNA. Yep, he's the Mr. DNA of this movie. You get the exposition in the cab. It doesn't feel preachy. Oh, so
perfect.
good. Yeah.
Which is why when Roger Ebert said the writing, bad writing, I was like, this is another one of those that I think could be up there in your screenwriting class of like,
yes,
perfect.
As far as action movies, you mean you have to have somebody who's incompetent to make this movie work, which sounds like that was Ebert's main thing. Like this guy's the chief of police or whatever is too incompetent.
Totally. And that's a fair stricken.
I guess so, but you have to have somebody like that for the movie to have the problems that it has to overcome.
Yeah. Right.
I guess I get the fact that he would think that's bad writing. I would disagree. That's purposefully written in to move the plot along.
Sure.
So the other thing that the bare feet kind of represents everything in this first 15 minutes pays off.
Yes.
But it also directly relates to yours, which is, for me, I feel like if this movie was made today, they would keep the bare feet until the second or third one because it's such an amazing idea. Like, how are we going to make it even harder in the sequel for him? We'll take away his shoes.
Sure. Well, I guarantee they weren't thinking about a sequel. They were like, we just gotta.
I don't think so either.
Because like apparently, so Jeb Stewart wrote the first screenplay, and they were like rewriting it as they went. Like apparently, they call this dude D'Souza, Steven D'Souza, who's just he seems like a guy that like a closer that can just like come and just write jokes.
Yeah,
and he's
just
just funny. Yeah. So he came in and like rewrote a bunch of it, and so apparently they had like only 30% of it, and they were like constantly rewriting. Like for example, like they figured out the ambulance thing. This could have been a stricken later, but they figured out how are they going to get them out, and they're like, well, what about an ambulance?
Right, the ambulance that they're going to escape in, but they don't end up escaping in.
Right, but also it comes out of the truck. When they come out of the truck, there's no ambulance in the truck.
so that was written. That idea was written in too late.
Yeah. So they talked about like, and I love this because I think we've seen Spielberg do stuff like this before. McTiernan was like, we went to the screening and we were like, oh, beep.
Yeah.
We forgot there's no ambulance in the truck.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And then McTiernan was like, who cares? If somebody thinks about that like 2 hours later, whatever.
He's
like,
going to pull a George Lucas and go back into it and like CGI somehow an ambulance and then like shift them over a little bit like Han Solo stepping on Jabba the Hutt's tail. They're all just like
Han Maboogie.
Oh, Han Maboogie. That's curious to me because I do feel like it's so tightly written that they wouldn't miss something like that. I like to hear that they did. Everything else feels to me so tightly written and also purposeful. The bare feet purposefully keeping him fallible, right? Like and I remember Tracy Leland's house, Wind Ensemble Party, thinking he's gonna be barefoot this whole time. This is amazing.
Dude, that really, yeah, that gets you like feeling like, oh, dude, you got to find some shoes.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Which
like,
he tries
oh, man,
to at
and-
one point.
Yup.
And it's the guy
Smaller than my sister. I kill a
900,
guy that's
900, no, 9 million terrorists in this world, and I have to shoot the one with feet smaller than my sister. It was smooching with my brother.
That's so great though. That's like they it's so perfectly crafted and written
Right.
that they think of stuff like that, like the shoes, like
Mm-hmm.
like somebody like us, or maybe like even nerdier, would
Yeah.
be like, well, why didn't you steal the shoes from the guy?
Or even when right after he kills the first guy, you're yelling at the screen, "Take his shoes," and then
Right.
he tries. It's great.
Yep. Totally.
So the bare feet. I mean, it's just this purely genius move. I wonder if they thought of it late. Also, I don't know, but
I don't know. Yeah.
and then the setup is the scene that you're talking about, which is the guy tells him to do it. So there's a reason his feet are bare.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that he's in the A t-shirt, the wife beater,
Yep.
as it's so called by the
Yeah.
I don't know, kids these days. But I think the technical name is like the A-frame, right?
A-frame shirt.
I do have a minor problem with that shirt.
What's that?
Like, okay, what is the purpose of, I'm just going to call it the wife beater, which is what people know it as.
Sure.
What is the purpose of that shirt?
It's to prevent your I'll get a little blue here. It's to prevent your nipples chafing, I believe.
Okay, so okay.
It's to cover
I've
your
always
and for a hairy-chested man or a hairy bellied man.
Yep.
It fits tight to the bod, and then
So
so
it's
then your
still-
looser clothing doesn't rub and chafe is my understanding. I'm not aware of such things. I like a
Okay, so
V-neck T-shirt.
It's
If I'm
shape
gonna wear
it's
something like that.
right, it's shape defining
Mhm.
and then also for anti-chafing. Okay, I always think of a t-shirt as like for catching being the first catch of like perspiration.
Sure, and I
so,
do
like-
think it might be that, but it comes way down off the armpits, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Right, so it doesn't do anything. So I've always thought of it as being sort of useless. I did start wearing them on concerts though, like many years ago,
Yeah,
and you are so much more cool.
right.
It feels amazing.
So you have that inner layer without heating up.
Right.
A-frame shirt chat.
What the heck? Hey, I just need to mention this about the watch because we skipped over it.
Right.
We didn't finish it. But so she is a career-driven woman.
Mhm.
Brought her out there, right?
Yep.
Like, and you didn't think she was gonna make it, so you didn't pack your bags.
Right. Good,
Um,
very perceptive. Argyle
Totally.
is. Yeah.
He really was, and it's his first day on the job, and it's his
Wow.
first time in a limo. Genius. That was so
Yep.
good.
Mm-hmm.
They're just charming friends.
Mhm.
But the very thing that she achieves for
Yeah.
her great years worth of work is that watch,
Yep.
right? And that's the thing that, whatever his name is, Gruber is
Yeah.
holding on to. She lets go of that. He dies. They're saved.
Right. And so it's husband and wife
Yep.
releasing the shackle of career
Yeah.
and saving the day at the end of the
Which-
movie.
Goes into my theory, dude, which is I actually think there's a possibility that John McClane loves Holly Gennaro so much that he actually set this whole thing up, hired
okay.
these terrorists
Right.
so that he could. I was thinking about this on my walk the other day. I was like, maybe he set this whole thing up to get her back.
Wow. I bet that's true.
Mm-hmm. And then he did it again the next year.
And then he did it again 4 more times. Can I just talk about the terrorist thing?
Yes.
I'm surprised that it says terrorist, and I'm not surprised that it says terrorist in the trailer and on the box art because because they're purposefully not terrorists, right?
Right. Yep.
And that actually is said, I think, like 3 times in the movie, where it's like you just want money, which I gotta say I love. I don't like terrorists. I like boiglers. I like
Just
Marv
cops
and
and
Harry.
robbers. Yeah, right. They're just on a heist, just trying to get rich.
Right. So they're not necessarily concerned about that. There's that scene where Alan Rickman is making demands that he just read in Time magazine or whatever he says.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
read it in Time magazine. That is another. I mean, this movie's funny.
Yes. Okay.
And that part is just like the fact that they're thieves is so much funnier. Am I wrong?
Totally.
Than if they were terrorists.
Totally.
Oh,
All right, dude.
he's chunking
Let me
in.
chunk in there.
Yep.
We'll continue with terrorist chat.
Okay.
My second piece of evidence, though, as to why this is the perfect action movie is because it's friggin' funny.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Like it's like it's a laugh riot. Like every line he delivers is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently, D'Souza was told by Willis's like manager or whatever. You guys have changed the script too many times. Stop changing it.
Okay.
And so he was like dialing up the funny. That's what D'Souza did, is he brought the funny.
Okay. He put some jokes in there. Right.
Yep. And so he got together with Willis and they had drinks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, I have all this more jokes and stuff, but your manager's like says, stop rewriting. And he's like, screw that. Like,
Bruce Willis did?
Yeah. He was
Okay.
like, no way. Bring the
Yeah.
funny.
Right. I remember, again, I keep coming back to this wind ensemble party.
Dude, I love this party. This is
just
This is
laughing.
great folklore.
Yeah.
Yup.
Everybody just like when he says come out to the coast, let's get together, we'll have a few laughs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rolling.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I don't know why he says that in that moment.
Uh-huh.
Why he chooses in the elevator duct to say that, but it is too good. And I wonder, I guess I have this D'Souza guy to thank for that. But
Yeah.
I even at that age, I remember thinking, I don't think I've ever seen an action movie just like this. I wasn't at a place where I think I would say, oh, this is why action movies are like this now. Okay, just let me.
Well,
I'm just thinking about this thing that happened to me a couple months ago.
Okay.
So Noah is collecting vinyl lately.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So when I go to the used bookstore and I see something that I think is important for him to own, I buy it. Okay.
Nice.
So I saw Born in the USA, Springsteen's album. Okay. So I bring it up to the girl who's checking me out. I think she's probably in college. And she sees the iconic cover, which is Bruce Willis in tight fitting jeans, just his butt with that red cap coming out of his pocket. And she said, oh, wow, now that is a pair of 80s jeans. And I was like offended. I was like, that's not a pair of 80s jeans. That's Bruce Springsteen's butt. That is what every pair of 80s jeans has been based on.
That's the pair. That's not a pair.
Right. That is, like we were saying, ground zero, patient zero of 80s jeans.
Yeah.
And so you can't just flippantly say Die Hard is a fun action movie.
Right.
A fun action movie. It's
Yes.
the action movie that all others, I think this is what I texted you, that all others will forever be measured against and be found lacking.
Right. Exactly.
So we show you honor to Die Hard.
Yes.
And so when I was at that party, I think probably part of me sensed this is an important thing I'm watching. And then as I watched more action movies, I realized they're all in the shadow of the great and mighty Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Yes. And that's what blows my mind so much is learning that they were rewriting and recasting and like how it all comes together. And then they did a screening and they were like, whoa, like somebody said like, oh beep, like this is special.
This is like the best.
Yeah, like there's like scenes missing and there's like like blue screen stuff that hadn't been filled
right,
in.
okay.
And
I see it was one of those
music.
like unfinished
unfinished
screenings, and they still could tell probably.
Yeah. it's just it's funny.
Yep.
Like, I mean, like, just as an example, like Al, Sergeant Al Powell,
Reginald
like,
Bell Johnson.
Yep, when he's getting the Twinkies and he's
Great
like,
scene.
this is for my wife, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
you know, and then he like, just the way he puts money into the little charity thingy, you know, he like slaps it,
Stuffing
and,
it in there.
yeah, but he doesn't stop looking at the teller, the check, guy,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
doesn't break eye contact. He's just stuffing it in there. You know what I mean? Or like
Yep.
how he reads the Twinkie,
Mm-hmm.
the
He knows all the
ingredient. Or is that in
ingredients.
Die Hard too?
No, he knows all the ingredients in this one.
Okay.
He knows the yellow number 5 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great comic performance.
Totally.
I love Johnson and Johnson. What a great joke.
Oh,
it's
totally.
a black cop and a white cop. 14. Oh,
yeah.
It's the guy from
Robert
Goonies.
Davi.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And they introduce themselves as Johnson and Johnson, no relation. And then there's that phone call where he picks up and he says, "It's Agent Johnson, beat." No, the other one. So the person on the other end must have asked the black one. Yes, they know the other one, but that's not written in, and so that is funny crap.
Totally. Oh, yeah. Well, even right then when he was like, reminds me of Saigon.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's like, woo! It's like that's the machismo, right?
Yes.
Like the machismo does not win in this movie,
right?
But they're like reliving their glory days, and he's like, I was in high school, beep weed.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yep.
Just lines like that. I mean,
have you seen the sequels past 2?
Okay, so I've seen Die Hard 3 many times. I remember thinking it was dumb. I remember watching it as part of a laydown day.
Right.
But I think of it often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it's where we live, but there are so many times where I see like 10 dump trucks in a row. And I just, or like we're near an Amazon headquarters.
Right.
So I always see like a gas station full of Amazon trucks.
Okay.
And then they all leave together. I'm like, Die Hard 3.
Yeah.
Like, there's some iconic stuff in that one.
Well, and it's this ramping up thing that we talked about in the Home Alone 2 episode. If you want to listen to that, it's on patreon.com/2gomers, where we talk about the ramping up, right?
Yeah.
From house to New York. This one is from building to airport to New York City, right?
Right.
In the third one. It doesn't work very well for me. My theory about my personal problem with it is that it's not during Christmas. And so I just don't like it.
Okay, that just blew my mind. What if it had been New York Christmas, man?
Well, and I think I've shared my big idea for Die Hard 3 was White House.
Ooh.
And then they ended up doing that with White House Down and other things later.
Right.
But a way to ramp it up with Bruce Willis would have been incredible. Die Hard 3 in the White House. I just wish during Christmas.
During White House Christmas.
Yep.
That would have been the Clinton years, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, one. Okay, so like even along the writing and like the fact that it was happening all like just it's like a freight train moving forward. Like, we have to finish this movie.
Yeah.
Writing it. They're in that building. I saw them talk to one of like the stunt coordinators.
Yeah.
And they're in that the building is under construction the whole time too.
Nakatomi Plaza,
so
which is a different. I mean, it's not called that in real life. I'm assuming.
Right. It's just Fox. It's a big
just like
building.
A Fox Studios building.
Yeah. So like
half
the floors were like lawyers and stuff. And they're like bombs going up during the day, guns going up. They got all these complaints, but they were like, "It's our building." You know?
during the day, right? Sometimes all that stuff's happening during the day. Yeah.
Yeah. But they were writing, like, they were literally walking around the set and would see like a dolly or like a cart or something like that, you know. So the stunt coordinator was like, "Okay, let's use that," or like those chains that are hanging from the ceiling. Let's write a gag
the
there.
ballet dancer on that.
Right. Yeah. So like, I don't know. So that's the kind of stuff that it's like lightning trapped in a bottle.
Yeah.
Somehow they're in this empty building with some floors that are finished, some that are not.
Yeah.
they made it work.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think movies are made like that anymore. And
Yep. Too
probably
calculated
most of the
now.
time for the better, but in this case, not as much. I asked you about the sequels because in the fourth one, which they base around July 4th, which I like. So it's a
Okay.
holiday movie again, but Independence Day instead. They make a Johnson and Johnson joke in that movie. That's pretty funny.
Oh. Okay.
You should see it. Bruce Willis is
Die
really
Hard-
good in it. Die Hard 4,
Is
Live
it his
Free or Die
daughter?
Hard. Mhm.
I did see it.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
can't. I'm putting multiple movies together. I'll see it again.
It's good. We should do it over July 4th weekend.
Oh, good one. After Independence Day.
I've got one more. I cannot not put this man in front of the judge in our trial. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber. And I think if I was actually in a trial, I would just set him there and be like,
Yep.
I don't know why. But if it was anybody else, this movie wouldn't be perfect. But it's Alan
Totally.
Rickman, and so it is.
Yes. Yes.
Also,
yeah.
Alan Rickman as playing a German, or a British man playing a German, then doing a fake American accent is a deep part of Gomer lore.
Totally. Oh, please don't shoot.
Don't shoot! Oh no! Oh no! Don't do it! I'm an American.
Okay, so apparently, do you know this story about this accent?
That I think what I read at one point was that they're trying to get Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman together because they're both so good. And in the original script, they didn't meet until the very end, right? And so they were like, how do we get them together? And so they came up with this kind of like, they've never actually seen each other, right? They've never
Right.
seen each
Nope.
other.
You're totally right. They've talked. So, like,
Right.
I guess, so yeah, that's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a scene together with these dudes.
Yeah.
But they were like, how are we going to do that? So they asked Alan Rickman, and I guess it was in front of a bunch of people. Can you do do you do an American accent? A lot of British people can do American accents.
Right. Which I love. I love British people doing American accents.
Totally. But I guess he said, no, but I can do like a California surfer accent.
Okay. Yeah. Which it is. You're right.
So
it's
he
like a
did it?
SoCal surfer dude.
Totally. Like he did it. Oh God, please no.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
He did it and it killed.
Okay.
Apparently it was like by the craft service table.
Yeah.
And they're like, that kills. D'Souza, get on it.
You are released to write a scene between these two. It's an amazing scene because you're like, why aren't they killing each other? Oh, it's because they have never seen each other. And then the picture being down has a lot is super important because he would have recognized Bruce Willis if she had not flipped the picture down.
Totally genius.
Yeah. So I love him. R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's now part of our Two Timers Club because of Galaxy Quest.
Yep.
He is such a good bad guy. He's the best bad guy. I mean, my guess is he got Snape because he's the best bad guy ever on film.
Totally. Well, who's better before this? Like, there's nobody like he was a Shakespearean actor or whatever. Had never done a movie before. This was his first movie ever.
Yeah.
And he comes in and crushes it like this. Like, he wasn't derivative of anybody else.
Maybe that's
right.
it.
Like, how many people have
Bruce
been
Springsteen's butt again, right? like he is probably what he was. He's not a big beefy guy either. He's just so smart. And then I bet bad guys became that after this.
Yeah. The suit line, dude.
Yep.
When he was like heading up to probably kill this dude, but he's like, I like your suit. That's a British maker. I have two myself. Wait, why did I just do Southern? I don't know.
I have two myself, dude. I'm a surfer dude.
Hey, man. Yeah, he is so extraordinary. There's the other thing, just because this is our our ultimate episode, got to drop everything in,
Yeah.
is like the stunt sequence when he drops.
Best shot of the movie. Do you think that's the best
oh.
shot of the movie?
Okay, so do you know the story behind this one?
That they actually dropped him, right? This isn't a CGI Lex from Jurassic Park face on a stunt woman. This is like
yeah, totally
him falling. Probably it seems like a long way.
Yeah, he's falling onto a blue a blue
like
mattress.
A blue screen pillow or something.
Yeah, that's like as humongous, like
right. Okay.
Like many trampolines wide or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, they wanted to get it to actually happen. So what they did is they were gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, drop him.
Yeah.
And they dropped him on 1 instead of go.
Right.
So they go 3, 2, 1. And so like he's expecting to hear go, but they drop him, so his body drops. So like, yeah, the stunt
and
guy
so you
was
see
saying,
you see his eyes just bug out.
Oh, like he's actually scared.
Yeah. And they slow it down, which is a great idea, because then you get like a 5-second shot of him, the gun goes out, he's about to shoot her.
Yes.
But his gun goes out and he's flailing all the way back. And then they cut back to that amazing shot of, it must be a dummy falling down that whole length of the building, but it looks real to me.
It does.
So good.
Yep.
That's my favorite shot of his. Then I love it when he does say yippee-ki-yay, mudda beep.
Yep.
But I also love it when Holly Gennaro comes into him and says, "We have a pregnant woman out there." And he actually looks concerned about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like and then they have that back and forth where he's like, "We can't do that, but how about if we bring her a couch?"
Yeah.
And for some reason, that feels like a scene that would be cut now. For some reason, that scene just expands him as a character so well, and it's just like he's the best bad guy. He's the best bad guy ever. I mean, he's so good as Snape, so good as by Grabthar's hammer. He's even good in that depressing Christmas. What is that depressing Christmas movie?
Yeah,
I can't think of it.
Oh, I can't think of the name of it right now that I recommended last year. Sorry,
I can't remember either. He's good in it. His storyline is so depressing.
Yeah, he's so good in that.
Yep.
No, they round out each character so well, giving your hero vulnerability, and then giving your antagonist like you actually like him.
Yeah.
Like the
you really like him,
or the pregnant mom, and like getting the people to go to the bathrooms and stuff. She's like, if you don't want to mess in here,
right?
Yep. It's
so
just
good.
That scene still, the scene where it's Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine watching that again for the first time.
No, I wish I could. I wish I could.
I wish we could see Sixth Sense again for the first time. Wish we could see Tommy Boy again for the first time. Wish I could see that scene again for because you're like, how are you gonna? It's like the shoes. It's like the feet, like the bare feet. Like
how is this?
How are you gonna get out of this? That's perfect writing. That is perfect writing.
Right. I also will just say this, and then we can give it to the nation to vote.
Okay.
The fact that the glass doesn't happen until the final quarter, maybe even later. I mean, I don't think him walking over the glass happens until probably an hour and 45 in.
Yeah. She's staying Fenster.
Because barefoot is hard enough, and you're like, how is he going to do this? And then they just ramp it up one more time before the end. And then there's the hose, the fire hose. It's the escalation and de-escalation, right? Like it's gonna blow up, so he puts this on. Okay, great. He jumps off. Now he can't get in. Oh no! He shoots it. He goes in, and then is it the best thing that's ever happened in any movie in my life? When then the fire roll falls and you see it, and it zooms from that to his face, where he's just like, "Oh crap." It cannot be topped.
Yep. It's incredible. Well, and also shooting the building to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's dangling from a fire hose 50 stories up,
Mm-hmm.
and he's shooting the glass, or he's gonna die.
Right.
Like, and then the fire hose falls back, and he's still connected to it. It's like every single, like, you finish one thing, and then here's another thing. It's a puzzle.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yep. Every time he solves something else goes wrong that he then has to solve. It's a great scene, great movie. Now it's up to you, nation. We think Die Hard is perfect. Do you? You can vote in all sorts of places. You can go to Twitter right now. That's Two Gomers. You can go to our Instagram, our Facebook. You could even send us an email at Gmail. All of that is Two Gomers, and let us know, is Die Hard a perfect movie? We want to tell you that The Farewell is on the list.
Yes. Good job, Aquafina and Nai.
Yep. And we're going to do a launch, a 2020 launch.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put it on V'ger. V'ger doesn't launch. What would we put it on to get it out there? To V'ger.
SpaceX.
Okay, good idea. Call up Elon Musk. We have a very important job for you to do.
He's like too forward. Like, he's too trying to go to Mars for this.
Okay.
We need to get one of the space shuttles out of retirement. Out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And send that up, dude.
Okay. So we're going to put our flash drive on a shuttle, get it up to V'ger, and it's going to finally take our 2020 and 2019 movies on the list up to them. And then we're going to start. Perfect Movie is going to look a little bit different in 2021. Anthony and I have been having some conversations.
Yep. We're trying to do 3 podcasts at once.
Yeah.
Somehow, some people are probably able to do that because they like podcast for a living or something. We do not.
No.
We also have full-time jobs, families, kids.
Yeah.
It's been so fun. It's been a ride. But I think trying to maintain that is not sustainable or life-giving or friends-giving.
Or sanity.
Or sanity-inducing.
Right, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Right. And so we're not going to stop We're not going to stop putting movies on trial. How about that?
Right.
But it's going to look a little bit different in 2021. We're going to do one movie a month, and Perfect Movie is moving onto our bonus disc.
Mm-hmm.
So one movie a month starting January 2021. You need to be a subscriber on patreon.com/2gomers in order to continue. That's going to be at the lowest 3.1. So everybody's going to get those movies. That's a Patreon, or a Gomertron as we call them. We just need to regain some sanity in our lives.
And so we talked about this, and if you're super bummed right now, I mean, like, it's hard for me to believe because we already have 2 other podcasts that you're probably checking out as well. So, but if you're like, what the heck? The thing is, we're really trying to focus in and hone in on health and on the new thing or kind of revamp new thing we're starting over at Two Gomers Run for Their Lives.
Right.
We did a whole episode about this on our State of the Podcast.
Yeah.
And we're starting some stuff over there that's going to be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been such an added fun for us. But yeah, we're consolidating and simplifying.
We're streamlining for sure. And we've had counsel with listeners and our wives and family members, and like we said, lots of conversations between the 2 of us. Things like this episode are not going to end.
Totally.
We just have decided we can't do it as often. And we need to streamline by putting that on the bonus disc, which makes a lot of sense, right? Stick that bonus disc in.
Totally.
You hear a Die Hard app, or a Selma app, or a When Harry Met Sally app, or other things coming up. Castaway in 2021. Oh my gosh. Hook.
Dude, totally. We have so many good episodes coming, and I think that's well worth $3.1 a month.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, if you go up to the 6.2, you get twice as many bonus babies.
Oh, totally. There's an episode a week.
Yeah.
On bonus disc.
Right. So don't worry. We're not stopping the hard work. that it takes
Totally.
to produce these episodes. We're just trying to streamline a little bit. So at some point in early 2021, we are going to launch The Farewell along with 12 other movies, and maybe Die Hard, and maybe It's a Wonderful Life if they get on before the end of the year.
Yep.
And we are going to convert some xenomorphs. Good boys and girls all. All right, dude. Great app.
Super fun, man. Loved it.
Yep. Next movie, It's a Wonderful Life.
Incredible.
Make sure everybody checks out our other feed. We're doing Gomer's Favorite Things next week on the Two Gomers Run for Their Lives feed. Can't wait for that.
Yep.
So plenty of stuff. And then, if you're not a Gomertron yet, make sure you sign up soon on our Patreon, and you will get an invitation to the Christmas evening with the Gomers, where we're going to dress up, have some libations, open presents, play games, all in a giant Zoom call. Gomertrons only. Patreon.com/2gomers. You better do that now, or you are not invited.
Oh, that is so harsh.
And your Christmas will be ruined.
You get nothing but coal in your Zoom
right.
calls, but it's going to be a blast. It's the first ever.
Yep.
Maybe only ever. Who knows?
Oh no! When we have a first annual, we always do a second annual, and then we end up doing
totally
it for
right.
12 years to come.
Totally, you're right. Totally.
All right, dude. Have a great week.
All right, you too, buddy.
Great ep.
Super fun, man.
And happy watching It's a Wonderful Life.
All right, let's stop that. 1, 2, 3, stop. Nice.
Awesome.
That was tight.
Yep.
Tight.
Save. Sweet. Okay. You probably have to go, huh?
Oh, gosh, I do soon, but let's talk for a minute.
I'm going to stop the video recording. Bye, Gomer Nation.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.